Hi everyone. Today we will be doing Matthew Abeysinghe, the men's athlete for Tokyo 2020. So let me welcome Matthew to the show on the Papare.com. Let me start off by giving a brief intro on Matthew. Hi Matthew. So Matthew has been selected for his second Olympics, national record, which is long course and short course. I don't think Matthew knew the number as well. Matthew is the highest
Hello.
winner in single SAF games, where he won 7 golds, 2 silver and 1 bronze in 2016, and went on to win 7 more golds and 1 silver in 2019, giving him a total of 14 gold medals at the SAF games. He is an Asian Youth Games silver medalist. He represented Sri Lanka at the Commonwealth Games at the age of 14. He was an Asian Games finalist, Commonwealth Games semi-finalist, and the first and only Sri Lankan swimmer to achieve an Olympic B cut. He's presently training in the USA, and Matthew will be taking part in the 100 freestyle in Tokyo, which will be on the 27th of July. So that's about Matthew. We will be hosting a Q&A, but before going to the Q&A with Matthew, let me say ThePapare.com will be covering their first Olympic Games exclusively from Tokyo. All you need to know on the Olympic Games will be on www.thepapare.com/Olympics. Do get in touch with ThePapare.com for all updates. So Matthew, once again, I welcome you, and with your permission, I'd like to go ahead with a few questions for you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So I'll start off with something general for you, like with less than 15 days, how have your preparations been? I know it's a lot of things to say, but let's keep it, just give the viewers general idea on how your preparations have been leading to Tokyo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll get into this later with COVID and everything. My preparation has definitely been different than in past years, but I feel very confident. I feel like I'm in a good spot, and at practice, I'm training as fast or faster than I ever have before. So I'm very excited just to race. I mean, it'll be my first time racing in a couple of years, honestly, at a high level competition like this. So I'm very excited.
So yeah, like you said, we will touch in the pandemic towards the next questions, but let's get into another one. So this is your second Olympics, Rio and now Tokyo. But I believe you were working and trying on London 2012 as well, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. Yeah. So it's been
Yes,
quite
that
a
is
long period being in the competitive arena, I believe. So what have been the most notable changes you've done along the way? I mean, I know it's training and all that, but if you say 2020, 2012, 2016 to 2020, any different approach in your events of that sort?
I mean, my events in general have changed. I think in 2012, I focused more on the 200 and 400, not as much on the 100. I think the 200 was the event where I had the most FINA points. And then 2016, and especially now in 2020, I've become more of a 100 freestyle specialist. So that's one thing that's definitely changed. And I think overall, just becoming a more experienced athlete overall. I mean, London was what 9 years ago now, so I mean, I was just 16 years old, really young. I'm 25 now. I have a lot more experience. Had a lot more international racing experience. I've raced against a lot of the people that I'm going to be racing against in Tokyo. So I think a big part of it is just race experience.
If I go back to 2016, behind the blocks at your first Olympic Games, what was going through your mind?
I don't know. I think the normal answer that everyone expects to hear is that I was nervous, but I mean I wasn't really that nervous. I knew, to be quite honest, I knew what I was capable of, and I didn't. Not that I didn't have high expectations of myself, but I kind of knew it was not really going to be possible to move on past the preliminary stage. I mean, it's the Olympic Games. I was a kid racing against now. I'm a lot more experienced. I think I have a good shot to make semifinals. So maybe I'll be more nervous this time than I was that time because I have much higher expectations for myself than I did in 2016.
I think you answered one of the upcoming question as well, but there can be there can be more specific because I will ask a few more things on that. But yeah, Okay, so with the pandemic, I'm sure many obstacles came your way. Sri Lankan swimming community is still struggling. We just started swimming yesterday, got back in the pool.
Mhm.
I'm sure you had your challenges as well. My thing is, what went through your mind when the setback kicked in? What did you do to keep fit, knowing Tokyo was on? I'm also interested to know whether when you went forward with your training with the pandemic, at any point did you think this was it? I don't know whether I can do this anymore. Was there any negativity that came into you, or you were all good?
No, definitely not. Absolutely. I mean, I think everyone has had their fair share of struggles. Like I'm no different. I'll be honest. Like there was in New York City when the pandemic first hit. So I had finished my Big Ten swimming championships, representing Ohio State, obviously my university, and I was getting ready for the NCAA championships, which was going to be my fully tapered meet for March. And then that got canceled because of the pandemic. So we didn't really know what was going on. Our coaches advised us to, and I think New York City was at that time first a mistake to go there. But we were under lockdown for a long time, for maybe 8 months. There were no pools open in the U.S. Like nothing was open. I didn't swim at all, and I'll be quite honest. Like I thought about retirement quite a bit. I definitely contemplated retiring just because I didn't know if the Olympics was going to happen or if they were going to cancel this Olympics and just go ahead with 2024. Like at that point, nothing was clear what was going to happen. So I definitely did struggle a lot. I definitely did contemplate retirement. I'm very glad that I stuck with it. I have to thank my coaches for that, my dad for that, my brothers for that, all of whom kind of didn't let me retire, made me stay the path and keep going. And like I said, I'm swimming faster than I ever have before, so I'm really really grateful for them, and I wouldn't be here without them.
So amidst the pandemic, pandemic was challenging, but you graduated, if I'm not mistaken. So congratulations on
I
that.
did, yeah,
Are you
I did,
really
yeah.
getting it done, and also getting it done in time and getting it out of the way of from the Olympics? Yes, surely you are much more free and more relaxed, I believe.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's one of the best achievements of my life. Just graduating college, I'm really proud that I did that, and I'm really proud about how I got it done. A lot of people take 5, 6 years to get it done if they're swimming at the same time. I took 4.5 years, I think, for a 4 year course, basically. And so I just balancing that with swimming obviously had its own challenges, but graduating, getting that done is just a huge burden off my shoulders, and now I have to decide whether or not I want to do my master's.
That was my next question to you. I mean, first of all, what was your bachelor's on, Matthew?
I majored in sports management and I minored in international business. And so if I were to do a master's degree, it would probably be in like small business development.
Any predictions from your coach's side that you can aim for a time position in swimming terms? I'm not you don't not to be extremely specific, but I mean you want to make a semi-final, you want to go up 49 or 48, I mean, something like that. I mean, do you have anything in your mind? Does the coaches have something planned for you?
Yeah, so I mean, my best time is a 49.1. I think it's going to take, in 2016, it took a 48.57 to make semifinals, so I'm just off of that. And I can remember, I have a very good memory when it comes to swimming. I can remember all the times I went at practice at all stages of my career, from the time I was 10 years old until now, and the times that I'm going at practice are significantly faster than the times I was going before I went 49.1. So with that being said, yes, my goal is to make a semifinal. But honestly, I'm just trying to do the best that I can for Sri Lanka, like I always do whenever I represent Sri Lanka. It representing Sri Lanka for the past 11, 12 years now has been the greatest honor of my entire life, and I'm just looking forward to being able to do it again. And I'm just looking forward. I love racing, so I'm just looking forward to racing. But I really do believe that I can be 48 something.
very encouraging. That's very happy to hear, and I hope you go for your target. If I have to ask about Tokyo again, but this is not based on you, just to ask any battles or events that you are looking forward to watch at the in the Tokyo Olympics. Anything interesting that you think these events are going to be good because the standards have been significantly rising. The times have improved amidst the pandemic, and those I watched the US trials. Times have been very fast, and there is a Romanian kid who had gone a 47.3, 16-year old,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
Yeah. So any battles that you are interested to go and watch at the Olympics, you're going to really go and enjoy that.
I mean, definitely the 100 free, which is the event I'll be competing in. I mean, I think that is the fastest event in the entire world, like easily. There are so many people who go 48 now. It's absolutely unbelievable. And yeah, like you said, that the Romanian kid who goes 47.3 at 16, he has. It's just amazing to watch him swim because I was reading an like a tweet that a past 100 freestyler actually put out, and he was talking about how in like the 80s and 90s when Popov swam, like there were 100 freestylers who swam with a lot of finesse, like they worked a lot on technique, and they swam fast with technique. And then swimmers like Cesar Cielo and Caleb Dressel and Kyle Chalmers, like more powerful swimmers, started swimming the 100 free, and they kind of changed the way that the 100 free is swum. And I believe that this kid swims the 100 free more finesse than power. If you watch him swim, it's beautiful to watch him swim. I mean, his stroke is absolutely beautiful. I think he swims it more like a 1990s kind of athlete, and I mean he's only 16 years old. I believe he has a lot of room for improvement, and it's going to be unbelievable to watch him in a race at the Olympics, and it's going to be unbelievable to watch his future. I think he has a really really bright future. I mean, obviously everyone thinks that, but like I'm just excited to see his future. Yeah, for sure.
We're looking forward for the 100 freestyle. Yeah. Any other event? Because any other event that you think a relay that might be interesting in your mind?
Yeah,
Any
I
relay?
think I think all the relays are going to be really interesting this year. I think that the U.S. is a lot less dominant than they usually are. They have a much younger team. They've lost a lot of veterans like Michael Phelps, Ryan Lochte, Nathan Adrian anchoring all those relays. I think the relays are wide open with Great Britain in the 800 freestyle. I mean, Great Britain had two swimmers go 144s. I think they had three swimmers who were faster than any Americans went. Sorry, excuse me. They had three swimmers who are faster than any Americans went at their trials. So like that's an event that the Americans usually dominate. So I mean, I think that's going to be an unbelievable relay. Obviously, the 400 freestyle relay is always unbelievable. And then the 400 medley relay, the U.S. has, I don't know the exact number, but they have won that many times in a row without taking a loss. So I think that this time it's going to be a lot more interesting than usual. So I'm really looking forward to watching the relays.
Okay, so that's about Tokyo. So me, I'm not going to put you on the spot on this question, but I mean, just like to know how you're going to move forward. So in less than 20 days from now, Tokyo 2020, 2021, swimming is done. What next for you? Another 4-year cycle for the Olympics? Are you planning Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, or is there anything in your mind right now that you want to accomplish before you hit retirement? I don't think you're thinking of retirement, but if there is something that you want to accomplish, do you have anything planned, or you will look into it after Tokyo? Are you just going to hit Tokyo and then plan something?
So I've been asked this question a lot in the past few weeks, and I'm going to give the same answer that I've been giving for the past few weeks. Right now, I have tunnel vision on Tokyo. I'm not focusing on anything past that. I'm not focusing on anything else. My one focus is to swim a very fast preliminary 100 freestyle, and we'll see what happens from there. But I mean, I think that the future of Sri Lankan swimming is bright, whether I'm involved or not. I hope to be involved. I think that there's a lot more than I can accomplish in this sport. But right now, my focus is definitely just on swimming a very fast 100 freestyle in Tokyo.
With dad being a leading coach and your brother Andrew following his path of coaching, Are you hoping to follow the same since you have this in your blood, or are you hoping to do something? Are you hoping to do something in swimming in terms of work in the future, or is that
Absolutely.
something you want to get out of?
No, absolutely. I think that I have other business ideas as well in Sri Lanka and in the United States also, since I'm a dual citizen. But I absolutely think that my family's bread and butter is swimming, and I think that I would be an idiot to not take that up. And I also want to give back because I've gained so much over the past 11 years being able to represent Sri Lanka. I've been given so many opportunities, and I would love to be able to give back to the younger swimmers in Sri Lanka because like I said, I do think that the future of Sri Lankan swimming is not it's not me, it's the young kids, and I believe that I have gained a lot of valuable knowledge over the years that I can pass on to them, and I absolutely want to be involved in Sri Lankan swimming 100%.
I think that's something we would be looking forward to have someone with all this experience coming into the sport, because we have seen, uh, not to fault any other swimmer, but we have seen swimmers going to the top level but not coming back and coaching and sharing their experience. So having you would be a great inspiration for the upcoming swimmers, as well as sharing your knowledge would go a long way for us.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that there's a bad habit in Sri Lanka of, again, not to put any particular person on the spot, but I think that there's a bad habit of swimmers not sharing their knowledge because either they don't want their records to be broken, or they don't want someone to win as many gold medals as them, or they're like things like that. But in my opinion, records are meant to be broken. Like, what's the point of me breaking through these barriers if nobody ever breaks my records? If nobody ever wins 8 gold medals at South Asian Games, there's no point. Then everything I did was for nothing. I truly believe that if I can coach someone to be better than I believe that I can coach someone to be better than I am. And I believe that if I don't do that, I'm doing a disservice to the Sri Lankan people. I really believe that.
Appreciate that statement from you, Matthew. It's very inspirational, and also we're looking forward to you working with the Sri Lankan community. Um, if you did answer, I mean, you were talking about swimming standards being high at Sri Lanka. It's getting better. If I'm to ask you, what do you think of the potential of Sri Lanka swimming? Let's say, I'll give you a small context. The level of swimming has come up over the years, and I have to be honest and say the Abeysingers have raised the bar to an extent. There's no doubt about it. 10 years down the line is where I'm trying to look at. Any predictions for swimming? Are we looking at Asian medalists, Commonwealth medalists, Olympic finalists? Anything that you would say that swimming here at present, seeing the times getting better, competition getting stronger? In 10 years, where can we get to?
I think that, to be completely honest with you, I think that that depends on how the coaches and other athletes can kind of work together. I think if we work against each other, I don't know. I don't know how much Sri Lankan swimming can improve, but I think if we can work together, I think that the future of Sri Lankan swimming is very bright. I mean, if you look at other sports, we have so many good athletes. Look at cricket. We have so many good athletes. We have World Cups. We have all these kind of things. The athletes are there. Um, I think that we need to work together. One of my favorite memories of any tour or any international meet that I've been on has, first of all, is always relays from both of the South Asian games. My two favorite memories are the 400 freestyle relays where we beat India both times in 2016 and 2020. Those are, if I had to tell you which of my medals is my favorite, easily those ones. It's not even close. I mean, you were a coach in 2020. I don't think you were a coach in 2016, but you were a coach in 2020. I'm sure that you saw how much it meant to me and how much it meant to Sri Lanka to win those medals. But also, you were also a part of the training camp that we went on in order to make that happen. You were there when we worked on relay starts. Like, I think that those are my best memories, and I think if we can do more things like that in the future, there's a good chance for Asian medals at Asian Games, medals at Commonwealth Games, medals at the Olympics. Absolutely, 100%.
That's something to look forward to, and I hope the younger generation, the next generation of coaches, will take it up. And it's up to the coaches, like you said, to be together, work together, plan together, and have a national plan, and then move forward and see through it. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is actually I want you to give a small advice, but correct me if I'm wrong. We have many swimmers. I mean, in this context, swimmers, but there can be other sportsmen. They always look for short-term results. I'm not saying they want to cut corners, but they would expect the highest achievement, but not as much committed. So, is there on such a basis, what would be a brief message for the up and coming swimmers of Sri Lanka?
I would say that I think the burnout rate in Sri Lankan swimming is quite high because I believe that coaches and parents put too much pressure on young kids to perform when they're young. I really do believe that. I believe that every parent and every coach wants to have the best 12-year-old swimmer in Sri Lanka, but I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if if your son or your daughter or your athlete that you're coaching is the fastest 12 or 13-year-old. If by the time they're 18-year-old, by the time they're 18 years old, they don't love the sport anymore because they were pushed too hard. I really believe that. I mean, if you look at my younger brother Kyle, I'm sure you can remember when Kyle was 9 years old, 10 years, 11 years old. He was just this chubby kid who was not very good at swimming. He wasn't very good, to be honest. Like my dad didn't push him. He told him focus on technique, focus on getting better at the little things. Don't overtrain, and your time will come. And Kyle's time came. Like I mean, look at what he did in such a short period of time. And I believe that a lot of Sri Lankan athletes don't get that opportunity because they burn out by the time they're 15, 16 years old because they were pushed so hard when they were young. And so I would like to see that change in Sri Lankan swimming. And I hope that I can help to do something about that. And I can help Sri Lankan parents. And he's in the next room, right across from me. He's done swimming now. He retired, but his name is Noah Lenz. He was one of the fastest butterflyers in the United States. So if you're one of the fastest butterflyers in the United States, you're one of the fastest butterflyers in the world. Start swimming. It matters how fast you are when you're 12. It matters how fast you are when you're 20. So he's just one example. There's examples like that. So yeah, I think that's one thing that if Sri Lankan swimming can change that, I think that we have a very, very bright future, and I hope to be a big part of that. And I hope to encourage athletes to pursue that, to focus on technique, focus on the little things, focus on like all those kind of things instead of just focusing on going fast when you're young. And I think that a large part of that is definitely on the coaches pushing young kids too hard. I really believe that.
Since you touched on your brother Kyle, I just just trying to bring my memories of him as well. So since you said, I mean, this message is very important to the youngsters. So Kyle was in fact not the greatest of swimmers at the young stage, but at the Asian Games, if I'm not mistaken, he was faster than you at his age,
Yes,
right? He was fast. When at
absolutely.
50.13,
Much faster than I was. Much faster than I believe. So that was in 2018. Kyle would have been 17. I believe at 17, I was a 51.2. So he was a full second faster than I was at the same age. But if you look at our times from when we were 12 and when we were 15, I was much faster. And I don't believe that I was pushed too hard from a young age. I just believe that we developed in very different ways. I developed much quicker than him, but in the end, at 18 years old, 17 years old, like you said, he was faster than I was. Yeah.
Matthew, thank you for that message for Sri Lankan swimming. And I think we have covered a lot on Olympics. Anything else that you like to share with the viewers, or anything you wanna? Because I like to say that Papare.com for the first time, like I said before, will be with you guys supporting the Sri Lanka team, and will be giving all updates on all of y'all. So they are going to do their best. I think it's the first time Papare.com or someone going to be with the athletes besides the normal broadcasting channel. So something very sports specific coming into with y'all for the Olympics. Tokyo. Anything else that you would like to say to everybody watching here today?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I have done countless interviews with the Papare, and I kind of think that we came up together. Like my swimming career rose as they rose as a media outlet. I remember, like back in the day in 2010 when my family first moved to Sri Lanka. When I first started swimming with Sri Lanka, they were not a very big media outlet. And like you said, it's incredible that a sports specific media outlet is coming to the Olympics. I think that's amazing. I think that they're doing a wonderful job, and I definitely look forward to the future. And I think that the Sri Lankan NOC is doing a wonderful job this time of marketing athletes and making sure that we feel comfortable. I mean, I think for the first time in my career, the Sri Lankan National Olympic Committee, like we have a group chat, and we've had the group chat for about a month, so that they could cover all the bases, make sure all the athletes are taken care of, make sure all the coaches are taken care of, make sure everyone is on the same page, and it's really really enlightening to see this, and I believe that this is the direction that Sri Lankan sports in general needs to move in, and I'm really happy to be a part of it, some small part of it.
That was a great conversation with the Olympian Matthew Abeysinghe. Matthew, thank you for joining us. Our prayers and blessings are with you for Tokyo 2021. Wishing you all the very best from me and the Papare.com. And thank you for being here with us with all your workload leading to the games. The Papare.com will be with you in Tokyo, cheering you on. Swim fast, Matthew. All the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me. I appreciate it. This was a wonderful interview.